Hey everybody, in this tutorial I'm going to be exporting a head from CrazyTalk 8 into external 3D tools, such as iClone and eventually Sculptress. And I'll also be showing how to modify and enhance it using Character Creator. So on the screen right now we have famous actor Leonardo DiCaprio that I'm kind of messing around with the facial puppet tool with. He has like a displeased look on his face. We're going to be basically recreating this guy throughout the duration of this tutorial. So let's go ahead and get started first by going into CrazyTalk 8 and taking a look at our original image. So this is a single image photo fitting that I did previously. We're not going to go through that whole process because we have other tutorials on that. But basically we're going to be taking this character and bringing him into Character Creator and enhancing him in various ways. So first of all, before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at this character's eyes. So I'm going to go over here to the eye setting. And generally when you have characters in CrazyTalk 8, the eye reflections are going to be inaccurate, to put it simply. So let's go ahead and preview this. And notice we have those specular highlights. I photoshopped these slightly just to kind of show demonstration here. So those white specular highlights attached to the pupils there, when we move them around, that's not realistic light reflection off the eyes and it looks kind of phony. So I'm going to show you how to replace those eyes in Character Creator and fix that problem right there. Let's go ahead and stop previewing there. But before we do that, what I'm going to do is just export this this character's head into RLHead format. Now we have two export options up here. We have the option to export to RLHead. You can also use the Control-H hotkey, or this one here, send your head directly to Character Creator. The first thing we're going to do is just send the export the RLHead. We're going to export it to our desktop, and let's just call it Leo01. I learned how to spell properly. Oops, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and save that. And there we go. Let's just go to our desktop and find Leo01. You can see it right there. It's a iClone Character Creator head file, which is an RLHead file. All right, so let's go ahead and take this head. I'm going to click and drag this into iClone to replace the current Leo DiCaprio that we have in iClone. You'll be able to see the difference. It's quite a stark contrast. Let's go ahead and press OK. And you can see now that the character looks almost exactly the way it did in CrazyTalk 8. However, we're going to add some skin refinements such as texture and facial hair, and we also need to adjust those eyes as well. So let's open up CrazyTalk 8. And then what I want to do is export this head to Character Creator. So I'll just click this Send Head to Character Creator. Now in Character Creator, if I go over to it right here, I've loaded up this actor, basically this base male project that you should all have that comes included with Character Creator. So just load this guy up if you don't have him. And I'll show you why in just a moment, why I've loaded this guy up. We'll press the J hotkey to focus on his face. And then when our RLHead import options come up, we can just go ahead, select Import Head Morph, Import Texture, Head and Body, and this one reset as well. I'll just press OK. And what we're going to see to start off with is a kind of messed up head, to be honest. Doesn't look anything like we exported from CrazyTalk 8. And the reason for that is because we already had morphs applied to this character's head. So if I go into Actor, or rather into our morphs over here, and into Actor and under Head, you can see we have a base male value of 100. If I take that down, it'll go back to our original character's proportions. So it's because we already have this base male morph applied. We can just select the head and we can just press reset. In case there's any other morphs there as well, we can just press reset and it takes everything back down to 0. And this will be our original data that was exported from CrazyTalk 8. Now another thing to pay attention to is that the eyes are slightly off. Like this one looks like it's sort of like a lazy eye. And the reason for that is because in CrazyTalk 8, if we go back to CrazyTalk 8 for just a sec here and we open our eye settings, in CrazyTalk 8, the eyes basically use two separate images for the eyes. And this is what is produced when you do a photo face fitting, two separate eyes. Now again, I've photoshopped these slightly. You can check out more you can learn more about that in our Enhancing Photo Fitting Eyes tutorial, I believe it's called. And so you can see there's two diffuse textures right here, two eyeballs in the diffuse texture. However, if we go to iClone and we take a look at the material for the character's eyes, let's make sure we have the eyes character selected and go to, where's the eye? There we go. Notice that there's only one single diffuse texture. And what it's doing is it's basically just mirroring this diffuse texture. So you may get a little bit of, position changing when you export to Character Creator. So this is why we recommend this, and also the specular highlight on the eyes, the lighting on the eyes, is why we recommend replacing your eyes with Character Creator eyes. So let's go ahead and do that right off the bat. Let's go into Character Creator here. And let's take a look at the variety of eyes that we have. We can go over here to our morphs, and under eyes, we have a number of different eyes here. I think Leo DiCaprio's eyes are sort of like a light blue. So let's just go ahead and double click that. And we want to replace everything there. Replace the mesh and the material. And notice now that our eyes are centered and we have, pretty decent looking eyes, although the color might be a little bit off. So let's just go ahead and close down our content manager here. I'm going to minimize this slightly. And I'm going to bring up that image just to kind of see as a reference how we can match these eyes. So we're going to try and match the eye color. So we'll go to about this distance right here. And notice there's sort of like a yellowish, fringe around the pupil right there. We can get rid of that. Let's go to select our Appearance Editor tab right here with Character Creator Base Eye. We need to activate the Appearance Editor. And that'll load up all these different categories right here. The main ones we want to focus on to get rid of that yellow is the strands category right here. And you can see that's yellow. So we'll just change that from yellow to something like a nice blue, a nice sky blue. And you can see now it looks a little bit more accurate as far as what's on the left and what's on the right here. So let's actually just maybe desaturate that a little bit as well. I think it's a little bit too saturated. We'll go with something like 80. There you go. And we can also modify the iris if we want. We can change the iris to like a red color if we choose to do so. We can make him look like a demon, but we don't want to do that. Let's just press Control Z and undo that right now. I'll probably just desaturate this slightly as well. Let's take this down to 50. And maybe not that much. It goes back at 80. Maybe I just want to darken it a little bit. Maybe something like that. All right, that's looking a bit more like the one on the left. And the ring around the eye iris is a little bit too dark, so I can just go here and change this rim color right here. We can lighten that up a little bit. Lighten up, rim. There we go. And there, that's looking a little bit more. That was too light. There we go. Let's try that one right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. So, the eyes are looking pretty similar. Again, you can spend a lot of time going into details on this. There's lots of... The cool thing about the Character Creator eyes is it has like a number of different substance layers that you can modify. You can get tons and tons and tons of detail on these things. Even like eye ambient occlusion, you can pump that up a little bit to get a bit more shadow underneath the eyes as well. The next thing I want to do with the eyes is I want to get rid of those eyelashes. Those are a little bit distracting because he doesn't appear to have eyelashes on the image on the left. So let's go to our morphs then for the eyelashes. We can select our actor head, and we can just type in the search field, type in eyelash, and that should bring up our eyelash stuff. And we can give him like, nice, long, luxurious eyelashes if you'd like. But let's probably just take that all the way down. You can see if we take it all the way down, it kind of inverts it. So we want to use these two sliders right here, hide layer 2 and hide layer 1. And there we go. Now we basically have, more similar to the image on the left. All right, so that's pretty much all we're going to do with the eyes. Let's focus now on the character's skin texture. I'm also going to just, or rather the facial hair and the actual hair in the character. I'm going to press F4 to bring up our content manager one more time here. I'm going to modify the hair. Let's go over here to the hair section here. And under the hair template folder, I have a party fun pack that I've got from the content store. This is available for separate purchase. I'm going to choose this slicked tail hair right here because I think this is pretty Leonardo DiCaprio-esque, I guess. I think I've seen him with hair like this in a movie before. And that's the hair we're going to go with for that. And then let's go ahead and change the facial hair as well. So for facial hair, we can go to our Appearance Editor tab right here one more time. And with actor selected, we can activate the Appearance Editor for our actor item. And then we want to go down to the head section right here. We can also just select skin and head. And we have eyeshadow, scalp, eyebrows, mustache. Let's go ahead and give him a beard to start off here. So you can see the beard from the photo fitting image is pretty decent, but we can actually make it a lot better by adding our substance material beard here. Let's go to choose the beard items. We can give him like, type 1 beard. We can give him a type 2 beard. Any one of these beards will do. I think the type 1 is probably the most accurate. It kind of blends into his the photo fitting texture image right there. I think that looks fine and dandy. And then we can go ahead and do the eyebrows as well. So the eyebrows, we can add a little bit more detail to those. Choose the eyebrows. There they are. We can give him like female eyebrows like that. And you can see that eyebrow texture appear right there. Female B, those are a bit more defined. And the color is a bit wrong. I found that one of the RGB masks, if I double click this RGB mask right here, just double click that, from our Character Creator Essential Morphs and Skin Pack. This is again available for separate purchase. I found that this CM03 one kind of blends in nicely to his actual eyebrow shape. So we'll just select that and change this to input, and then we have, there you go, it looks a little bit better. And we can kind of desaturate those colors. I think it's looking a little bit too brown as well. Let's change the primary. Let's take that saturation down to like 50. There we go. Just desaturate everything. I'm taking all the fun and color out of his eyebrows. There we go. All right. This tertiary one up here is a little bit bothersome as well. There we go. All right, so that's looking fine and dandy. And then if we, let's close the content manager one more time here. Let's bring this over. There you go. So we're looking, more and more like each day. Now let's go ahead and modify the skin texture. So let's try and get some more realistic skin texture on this character as well. Now that can also be found in the head section here. But now we want to go to head base and head surface normals. So the head base will just basically change your character's facial color, I guess. If I increase the tone slightly, you can see we can tan our character nicely like that. Let's give him something like, 0.24. Let's give him a nice healthy tan. He's looking a little sickly before, so now he's looking like he just came back from a movie shoot on the beach or something. All right, so just modify that slightly. And again, we go into a lot more detail on character creator stuff in our character creator tutorial series, so you can check that out. I'll provide a link for that as well. And our head surface normals, this is where we can modify the actual skin texture. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to go over here, and let's modify the forehead slightly. So the forehead, we can add some roughness. And you can see the result when we add that roughness and we add the strength in there as well. Maybe not that rough. Maybe a little bit less. So do something like that. We can age it as well. We get some wrinkles in between his eyebrows right there. Might be a little bit much, but let's go ahead and work with that. I'm going to kind of change the pore size a little bit down as well. Change the pore size there to like 1.4, I think should be about good. I'll change the horizontal to 1.4 as well. There we go. Let's give him a little bit more age. I think he's pushing 40 or something. I don't know how old Leo DiCaprio is, but we'll kind of give him something there anyways. All right, and then let's move down to the cheeks. We can do the cheeks as well. Give him some texture on the cheeks there. You can see the strength increasing. We don't increase it too much. But let's change that pore density again to 1.4. Now you can't see it super accurately because we're currently at 1024 by 1024 resolution. Again, I go into a lot more detail on this stuff in the character creator tutorials, but I'm just going to go to the other section here. You can see which area this affects. This is just an embedded substance template that allows us to create these normal textures on the character's face. Let's do that. Roughness. You can see there, since it's a front-facing single photo face fitting, all the stuff over here is generated by CrazyTalk 8, so we can add some additional roughness to that as well. I think that looks okay. All right, let's work with that. And then let's change our texture resolution by going up to the top here. And let's change the output size from 1024 to 2048. And you can see there we get much more detailed skin texture, and it's looking a lot better, especially with these small pores and everything like that. All right, so we're done with the skin and the facial hair and all the hair and everything. Let's take a look at what we can do for the head morphs as well. So for head morphs, we can go to like the morph section over here first of all, and let's go to head. We can twirl this down a little bit, and I like to kind of modify the skull a little bit. Let's take off the eyelash in the search field there. You can see his skull is actually pretty wide in this picture over here. We can slightly increase the skull width if we wanted to, something like that. Probably nothing too much, but maybe just a tiny bit. And we can change something like, let's go to the forehead right here. There is a temple size. You can see there's some definition to his temples right here. So let's try and recreate that. Get some definition right there. I can see right along there. And we can change the forehead define as well to kind of define that a little bit more as well. And the cheeks, we can do something with the cheeks as well. He has some like dimples over here on the image that I don't think are accurately enough portrayed on the model. So let's go ahead and give him some charming looking dimples there. Dimple crease. There we go. So we can give him a little bit of a dimple crease, and this dimple crease right here as well. This one goes a little bit further back right there. Alright, so there he's looking a little bit more jolly, a little bit friendlier. He's got that charming look. And if we wanted to, like, say for example, we have this character, and in the same project we want the character to look older for like a different part of the project, like a different scene or something like that, we can do stuff like, sink the cheeks, make him lose weight, lose 200 pounds, or lose 100 pounds in 2 seconds right here. Make him emaciated and like the Castaway or something like that, but we probably don't want to do that in this case. We can keep that up. And you can also go and like save this character creator project as well. So like go to File, Save Project As, and you can save it like this, and then come back and modify it as much as you want to create, different variations on the same character. And one last thing I like to modify as well for morphs is kind of the brow. I think the brow has a pretty good effect. I'm not sure how Leonardo DiCaprio's brow is because it's a front-facing image. I can't really tell, but I find that the brow depth kind of changes things quite a bit. You can see right there. He has not as much brow depth. It kind of brightens things up right there. We can also add a bit more brightness in this section as well by going back to our appearance editor here. Our character's eyes and on the skin head section here, we can choose our eyeshadow. So let's go into eyeshadow here. He's probably wearing makeup in this picture, come on. And we'll give him a little bit of a highlight under his eyebrows there. We can give him like a soft highlight. There you go. Just kind of brightens things up right there. Just, very, very subtle touch. And you can go wild on doing makeup. I'm not, really into that kind of stuff though, so let's just go ahead and keep it the way it is. And we can like modify stuff like the nose as well if we wanted to with the morphs. We can choose like the character's nose. We can also, let's just double click this for a sec. Let's open up our morph gizmo. We can also just, click and drag on certain areas, like, make his nose size different as well just by clicking and dragging here. We can change the cheeks out like that as well. Let's Control Z that. And another important thing to keep in mind is that you can also modify the body, like the neck. If you want him to look like have a stronger neck or something, we can do that as well. I don't think he has a huge neck, so you can modify that. And head size is also a big one as well. So with your actor selected, you can go and type in a head, and you'll have a scale or a parameter here called head scale, and you can zoom out. And you can see if we think his head is too small, we can scale it up a little bit. We can give him like a cartoon size head if we'd like for parody purposes or whatnot. But I think that head scale up a little bit will look okay. Maybe that's a little bit too much. All right, we'll just leave it something like there. All right, that's basically all the morphing and all the modifications we really need to do in Character Creator. You can see we get that nice looking Leo DiCaprio. So it's time now to export him into iClone. So let's go into iClone, take a look at our current character. So this is our current dude in iClone. We can make sure he's selected. And we can go and back into Character Creator. And we can just use this button here to send our character directly to iClone. And let's click over to iClone here. And you can see it's quite a significant change from before and after. Now he's looking a lot healthier, the texture on his face is a lot better. He's got some more realism going on. We can, choose our facial puppet tool over here just to kind of give an example. Use that angry profile again from Christian. All right, so there's our angry-looking Leo DiCaprio. And, if we wanted to change his hair color, we can do so by going into this material tab over here. Make sure we have the hair selected, and then we can, darken that up a little bit with the hair mesh selected. Let's just choose brightness. We can take that brightness down. There you go. Maybe take the saturation down a little bit as well. Maybe not that much. There you go. That's looking a bit more like the original color that I think he should have. All right, you can save out this head in iClone as well. So, for example, if I wanted to save this head and apply it to other character bodies, I can do so. Make sure my character is selected here, and go over to the Actor tab, and go to the Custom tab over here. And under Head, we can just use the big plus key down here, and we'll just name it Leo Head. There we go. And then we can bring in any character creator character. So I'm going to bring in our default template character. Under Avatar, Character Creator, there we go, Christian. So keep in mind that you cannot apply these heads to G5 or any previous generation of characters, only for Character Creator characters. So let's take in Christian right here. There we go. We can press the J hotkey to focus on his face, and you can see he's got like some David Bowie eyelashes here because he has full luxurious eyelashes. That's why the shadows are coming down off his eyes there. So all we need to do now is just go to the Actor tab again, Custom tab, and we can either double click this with our character selected. We can either double click this head, or we can click and drag it onto our character. There you go, and there's our Leo DiCaprio with a slightly different hairstyle. I think he kind of looks better with this hairstyle, actually. Looks a little bit better than Christian. I think it suits him a bit more. Anyway, so that's our character. You can apply the head to any character, creator body, and you'll get results like this. Now, the last item of business is to export into an external tool. In this case, I'm going to use the free-to-download program Sculptress from Pixelogic, the makers of ZBrush. So let's go ahead and do that. With our character selected in iClone, we can basically just simply export him to 3D Exchange, which is our conversion software that allows us to convert to FBX and OBJ format. So with the character selected, go over here to your Edit tab. But before I do that, I want to show you the difference in the eyes as well. So let's zoom in really close on our character's eyes and use the / key just to kind of move that light source across the eyeballs. Now you can see the specular highlight, moves where it's supposed to go. It doesn't stay attached to the pupil, which is a big relief and a lot more realistic results for actual character eyes. So you can even see the slight dimples on his cheeks there as well, which is kind of cool. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and export to 3D Exchange now with our character selected again. Edit in 3D Exchange. It's going to load this dude up in 3D Exchange. And like I mentioned, you can export to FBX or OBJ format, which means you can also export your celebrity lookalike character to games or game engines like Unity or Unreal or Max or Maya, complete with character rigs and facial animation rigs as well. I'm just going to cop out with the simple export to Sculptress and OBJ format just to kind of show you that you can do so. Alright, so there's our character loaded up in 3D Exchange. All we need to do is go up here. You can export to FBX right here. I'm going to select Export to OBJ. And I'm going to call our character Leo. And save it to my desktop OBJ folder. Go ahead and press OK. There we go. And I don't believe I have Sculptress loaded up here, so I'm going to have to load that up from my desktop. Let's just go ahead and do that. Again, free modeling program, absolutely excellent, very simple to use. Let's just go ahead over here to import an OBJ, and it's already in that folder. Here's my leo.obj. I'll just double click that and choose new scene. And we don't want to go to paint in this case, let's just press no. And there's our character model. We can, we need to use the different controls here in Sculptress as opposed to iClone, a little bit confusing to go from one to the other there. And there's our character right there, even complete with the little dimples there on the side of the cheeks. You can see those dimples slightly there, which is kind of cool. And we can, modify stuff. We can pinch his eyes if we'd like. Let's give him some, weird kind of alien eyes by pinching his eyes and making just like so. You can also do, you can draw on the eyebrows if you want. Give him like a completely different eye structure. Anyways, we don't have enough time, kind of messed up his eye there. We don't have enough time to, go into all the sculpting and stuff in Sculptress, but just kind of want to show you the possibility of exporting to another 3D tool. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to check out our forums at forum.reallusion.com. We have a very supportive and knowledgeable community that can answer a lot of your questions there. And yeah, hopefully you learned a lot, and I'll see you next time.